Hi friends, it's Becky, and I'm ready to share with you day number 3 of our celebration for America's birthday, 250th this year, and we are celebrating with Gemstone Orphanage, who have put together a fantastic, beautiful, and amazing box full of gemstones and goodness gracious, gorgeous things. Now the way it works is you get a gemstone, and each of us got one of these gemstones, and then 5 dress-up bags that go with that gemstone, so you can dress it up and make it pretty and all of that. We've already seen Dena unbox bag number 1, dress-up bag. It is the Stars and Stripes bag, and that was on Monday of this week. We also had Colleen open up on her channel bag number 2, which is the Sparklers bag. I am opening up bag number 3. That is the red bag. My sister will be opening up bag number 4, and that is the white bag. And then Kryssy will be opening up bag number 3, bringing us home, and that is with the blue bag. And so I'm going to have all of these beads that we get to play with, and on Saturday we'll be joining Dena on her channel for a live celebration. That is July 4th. Just to play with these beads, to experience some fun, and maybe have a little bit of sparkle that won't cause wildfires, because I don't know about y'all, but like in this part of the country and in the West, it's a little bit dry right now, and it's very possible that we will not be able to have fireworks on July 4th because of the wildfire damage or danger. So being able to have some sparkle and celebrate that without the fire danger is fantastic, and that's what we've got in a lot of these boxes. So if you've missed Dena's and Colleen's unboxings and you want to see what was in theirs before you watch this one, go ahead and hit save to watch later on this one and come back after you've seen those 2 unboxings. And if not, if you want to see this one or you've already watched it, then go ahead and pay attention, because I've got it started with our Stars and Stripes and our sparkles, and I'm going to open up this red bag after I open up my Gemstone Orphanage orphan. So these orphans are gemstones that you can adopt and love and dress up, and this is mine. This is Montana, and look how beautiful she looks in person. Now these are dyed dragon vein agate, and I've got a ton of white in mine. Look at these white stripes with all of this red and blue. These are gorgeous, gorgeous gemstones, and I love the cut on this. That's absolutely beautiful. Let's stick that on something white so we can get a good close-up view on that. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. But yeah, Colleen read through the description of this on her unboxing, so I'm not going to repeat her. It's another encouragement for you to go and watch her unboxing, which was fantastic, by the way. And so we've got this and our red bag for us to open. I'm going to actually clear off my little background here because it's a little crinkly, and I don't think we want this noise for the entire unboxing. So I'll be right back, and we'll open this up and look at what's in our red bag. Alright, so we're back, and just to reassure my friend Colleen, there is no wrong way to organize your beads. You can organize them however you want to, whichever will fit best for you and make it easier for you to find your beads in the future. And it looks like I've got some sparkle in here, and I've got some red pearls, and I've got some really fun. Look at these. Those are so much fun. Look at all of these. Bright, fiery, warm, and just fantastic. Now you will find in here all of these, the sizes, the listing, everything that you need. And I want to let you guys know, if you missed your chance to purchase this box, they will be listing extras. If there are any extras, they will go up into the Adopt-A-Box section of the Gemstone Orphanage website. And they're going to do it after everyone has unboxed their things. So you will not find these on the Gemstone Orphanage or these or any of the other extras on their site until after Kryssy has unboxed hers. That way they can make sure that, you know, you may only need to do one order instead of purchasing some things from Dena's bag and then the next day purchasing from Colleen's bag or something. If you wanted to build your own box, you can do it after everything has been revealed. All right, so the first one is the Crackle Agate Faceted Rounds. I believe that is this one right here. Oh, or no, are they faceted? They are, and they're crackly. But are these also? No, those are cubes. Okay. This is Fire Brick. They are 6 millimeters in size, and there are approximately 25 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put them over here. Because I'm going to need to save some room in the organizer for the white and the blue as well, I'm going to try and fit all of my red beads right here in the center of my organizer. So we're going to have, Colleen, roommate situations with these, which I think is going to work out pretty well. I'm going to do my dark reds up here. I'm going to do like my kind of peachier, more translucent tone ones in here, and then we'll do our double toned, like these ones, right here in front. So that's how we'll get these organized. But again, however you want to organize them is the best way for you to do it. All right, so we've got some Quartz Global Faceted Twisted Rounds, dyed. Oh, that's these guys right here. And there are 6 of them. They are 9.5 millimeters in size. And this is actually kind of a beautiful, like magenta-y, fuchsia-y kind of a color, which I love. So it's not anything that I would be mad about. I'm going to go ahead and put these beautiful, darker pinky red guys over here with those Crackle Agates in that section. And we're probably going to put those pearls in there too. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up the pearls. They are red glass pearl mix. They are economy grade, but they seem to be decent quality right here. It ranges from, it looks like 3 millimeter to 4, 6, and 8. Maybe, but it's very varied. It's 4 to 10. Okay, so 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. So you could do, it's not on a graduated strand, but you could do a really fun graduated look with these if you wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fact, that might be what I make at the end of this. Something with a graduated look. 1, 2, 5. There we go. So you can line them up and get yourself a nice graduated strand. You know what? I'm gonna play with these after we unbox. I'm gonna make something with this graduated pearl bunch. So I'm not going to put it in the organizer. I'm gonna keep it out. And you know, I don't even need to put it back in its bag. I'm gonna put it over here with my gemstone. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, stick around to the end because I am going to be doing a design with this. The question is, what am I going to do with it? That's the big question. All right. Then we've got, what's the next one? Agate faceted cubes. Cerise. They are 7.5. That's these guys. The ones that I was confused about first. This cerise color is gorgeous. There are 8 of these. I'm going to give this a little bit of a wobble so that we get some facets sparkling in the light. I love that. Remember I said I was going to put our sort of clearish or lighter peachy colored ones here in the middle. So I'm doing that there. And then we've got our quartz sticks. That's these ones here. They are red to blue with various lengths, and there are 5 of these. And these would, two. Okay, so there's 5 of these, but I could subtract 1 of them and maybe put these in between. I don't know. Maybe. Sorry, I'm having a designing moment. But these are, they've got a hole in the center right there between the red and the blue, so you could flip them either way when you were stringing them if you wanted to. Maybe that might be a good option. I am going to go ahead and put them in here because I haven't decided I'm going to use them yet. I have decided I'm using these pearls, so we'll see if I'm going to use those or something else for my design. So let's go real quick to the half-plated blue on red crystal rondelle mix. That's this one right here. And this one is various sizes as well. There are 35 beads in this mix. We've got some of these larger ones and some of these smaller ones, but they've got that blue flashing on one side, so you get the multicolored look with those. And they are going right in here with my quartz guys. You know, they'll probably be really great together in their own design. Ooh, and maybe I could use this too. This was one of the bonus beads that came in here. If you missed it, Colleen showed it off during her unboxing. Again, go watch Colleen. It's great. And what else am I looking at? All right. Then we've got some red crackle glass rounds. That's these ones right here. They are 6 millimeters in size. There's 30 of them in here. And that red is light and easy on the eyes. And it looks like we've got some faceting here as well. So more sparkle. I will never be mad about getting more sparkle. And then crystal red lanterns, and these are A-grade crystal. They are 6 by 8 millimeters in size, and there are 15 of them. And it looks like we've got an AB finish on that. Look at that. That's so sparkly. These are juicy. These are such a juicy red color. I love them so much, and they're going right in there. So I've gone ahead and saved enough room to have our white and our blue to fill this space up. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and use my pearls to make a necklace and maybe an earring. I think I might borrow from the previous days unboxings and bring some of these, not these cubes that came out, which are fantastic, but I'm going to bring out these twisted bugles because they are gorgeous, and I think that they would make the perfect little spacers between my pearls for all of this. So let's just get a whole bunch of these out. And I think I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 of the larger beads. And these for earrings. There we go. Because I want to do some earrings with them too. Now the question is, what beading wire am I going to use? Because these are like crystal clear with an AV finish, the beading wire is going to show through. Thinking of grabbing my white wire so that that would give it more of a an illusion look with these the bugles, to have some white wire in between each of these. Or I could go with more of a bringing in the red with this garnet color, because that is just about the right red to match this all together. So I'm going to try out both of these wires to see which one I like best between these glass pearls. And then I'll decide which one I'm going to be using. So this still is going to give us some space between each of the beads. That wire is showing through a little bit. Here, let's put it over here. It's not super bright, but you can still see that wire. Let's try it with the white. I'm leaning towards white on this, guys. I am definitely leaning towards white. But we're also going to be creating during our live. I just wanted to do a quick make during my unboxing for y'all. Ooh, I kind of love the white in between. I think this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go for white. All right. Now let me set out these pearls so I make sure I don't miss any. This is one of the ways that I make sure that I get the beads that I want in the order that I want on my, is by laying them out. Alright, and then we've got two more over here. This will be fun. I'll be able to wear this for our live. We are all going to be fashion forward. Alright, one more. I love a good graduated strand, man. I just love it because it's like you hardly have to do any work. Just string it along, maybe pick out which things are going to go between each of the graduated bits, and you've got something pretty at the end of the day. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go off to the side because I'm running out of space on my mat. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. These are some great bugles, actually. Okay, I've got one extra here. So let's switch over here to some of these smaller ones. And I might not even need all of these smaller ones to get some length. In fact, it might be almost too long at this point, but let's go ahead and get these strung on here. I'm going to move these out of the way. There we go. I'm going to start from this end, and if I need to make it shorter or longer, I have extra beads that I can use to make it longer, or I can always take stuff off if I need to make it shorter. But I'm just going to start stringing this onto my beading wire. And this is the part where beading becomes a little bit what is the word? Like meditative, because you're just putting each bead on one at a time. You don't have to think too much about what comes next if you've already laid it out. You just put it right on, let the beads take shape, and let everything become what you feel like it should be. I'm excited to see what these other designers that we are doing this with come up with. Like Dena's creation on Monday was gorgeous. Our friend Colleen made the funnest necklace with all sorts of stars and things yesterday on Tuesday. And my sister is so creative. I can't wait to see what she makes too. And Kryssy always astounds me with her beautiful creations. So it's going to be great. And I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, one of the best ways to make sure that you don't miss any of these unboxings is to subscribe to everyone's channels. You probably already are subscribed to me and Jenny's right here, but also Colleen, Dena, and Kryssy. Not only do they make great things with this box, but they make great things all year round with all sorts of beautiful things. Look at this. Look how slinky this is. I love it. It's positively like... It's that AB finish on these twisted bugles. The light catches and it just rolls around and it's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. What a fantastic addition for this box. So far so pretty. I might need to add some length, and that's not a bad thing. I'm going to try this on. I'm going to hold it up to my neck and see where it falls once I get these last few beads over here. These are the other ones that I had laid out. Once I get these last few beads on, I'm going to check the length, see if it's ready. It's entirely possible that I guessed the length right. Sometimes I luck out into that sort of thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my camera keeps responding to some of the red or blue colors on my mat and turning everything kind of orange tinged. So I'm sorry if the color balance is shifting. It's just a response, something that a lot of cameras with autofocus and auto white balance do when you've got like reds or when you've got blues especially on here. Look how gorgeous that is though. I absolutely love it. And look how simple it was to put together too. It is not long enough yet. I think we need maybe 2 more of these smallest pearls on each side. So I'm going to do these 2 on this side. And just try to remember that I did this once I've got this crimped. so that I add these two and these two onto the other side. So I'm going to perfect. And I do like a shorter necklace, but it would have been too short without all of that. So here's where it is right now. I need to add those other two to this other end, and I'll do that after I crimp this first end. So let me get some crimps and a crimping tool. I haven't decided what closures I'm using. Do we have a clasp? We do. You know what though? I want to use this magnetic star clasp. I want to use it on the necklace that I use this on. And so I'm going to save that for that. And I am going to just use a lobster clasp from my stash for this. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. But I am going to get out these earring backs for my earrings. Yep. There we go. That will work. I love that the little silicone ear stoppers on the back are star-shaped too for these. I think that's really great. Oh, but I was choosing a clasp so I could figure out what metals to use. You know what? If I'm using the silver clasp for this one, why don't I use gold for this set? I think that's a good idea, because we got both silver and gold in this box, which you will have discovered when Dena did her unboxing. Yeah, I'm going to save the silver ones to go with the set that matches this one. So we're going to go with gold for our findings on this necklace, which means I need to grab a jump ring, couple jump rings, and a lobster clasp from my stash. There we go. Jump ring for that. And a bigger jump ring for to hook it onto. And now I need some gold crimps. Where are my gold crimps? Aha! I found some. Alright, I'm going to need 2 crimps for the necklace and 2 crimps for the earrings, because I'm going to be using beading wire for these earrings too. So, where am I? I've got these 2 left that I need to do. I've got 1 loop that I need to make there. And I need some tools. It is a bit silly that I knew going into this that I would be making something with my unboxing, but I forgot to grab out my tools. There we go. I have a crimper, my flush cutters, and chain nose pliers. There we go. These ones are long ones, but you can use any. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be short. Just as long as you can open and close your jump rings with it. So let's get that one out of the way since I don't need it yet. Let's start crimping. Now, my favorite style of crimping is the magical crimper. It is fantastic because it makes a little ball of crimp that you don't need to cover with a crimp cover. I also really like the wire that I'm using because it is very durable and flexible, doesn't kink, and I don't need to use wire guardians with it. So it's this wire, it's my favorite wire. Soft flex medium. So I'm going to go ahead and make a loop by bending my wire back through my crimp bead. Then I'm going to center that crimp in my crimper. There's only one place you can do that in. Right there in that little divot. I like to make sure it's centered before I do any squeezing. And then squeeze it closed, and that just crimps down the corners of that crimp. 2x2 crimp tubes are the ones that work best on this. Then you turn it at a 90-degree angle, do another squeeze, and then go around at a whole bunch of different angles and do a squeeze. If you're doing it like this to help keep it centered, you'll want to open it, rotate it, and then close it. Don't squeeze it while it's rotating. Right, then I can snip off my excess wire here. Scooch these guys up. And remember, I still need to add these two to the other side. So I'm going to make sure that I have enough wire to do that and enough wire to do crimping with before I snip that. So now let's add these beads so that we are the same length on both sides. Hey, where you going, buddy? No! I'm missing one of these on this side. So you know what I'm going to need to do? I'm going to need to take this off and scooch these down. But I'm just going to double check that that's not going to screw up my sizing too much on this. Otherwise, I'd need to add this one to that side. Let me start with this. Oh boy. See, double checking your stuff before you do your last crimp is a good idea. I bet one of my friends who likes to watch me bead noticed that before I did. So shout out in the comments if you saw it before I did. Alright, so that will make it even. But will it be long enough? No, that's too much of a choker length. I need this length in here. So what I'm going to do now is I've already got this on this side, so it's going to be a little bit harder for me to take these beads off and add it in here. What I'm going to need to do is take off, let's see, from here down, and then string them all back on and include one extra in here. So I'm going to do that off camera with a little bit of TV magic, so you don't have to sit here through the whole stringing thing all over again. I know so many of my friends like to have longer videos with me, but I also would feel the need to fill that time with chatter. And I don't know if I have the chatter in me. So I'm going to restring this. I'm going to add these guys right here into this section. And then I'll add these two on here on the other side, and I'll be right back and see if I still have enough length at the end of it for crimping. And just like that, it's been strung, and I do still have enough wire here at the end to make a good loop with my crimp, and it is now going to be the perfect length. So again, just to double check that I'm not missing any beads anywhere in here, I'm gonna put these right there side by side with both ends. And it looks like I am good to go. So now let's go ahead and crimp this last end. Ooh. I want this to be a little slinkier than it is. I'm just making sure this isn't going to be too stiff. Alright, good. And there's a little bit of room there between my crimp and that bead, so that'll give it a little more movement. And then I can go ahead and crimp. All the way around. Now I'm going to use these as one end of a pliers in order to open and close these jump rings. Just give that a twist. Put this on. Oop. Almost forgot. You gotta make sure. Yep. Gotta make sure your lobster clasp works, because I have... It's funny how the 99 times out of 100 you test it beforehand, it works, and then that one time when you don't test it, you attach it to a design, and then you go to open it and you find out, oh wait a minute, I got like a non-functional one. But that's why I always test it before I connect it, just in case. Go. And here we are. Beautiful. Just like that. And now let's get an earring done. I'm going to do one of them with y'all, and then I will do the second one off camera. Just because it is getting to be a little bit late. And I've decided I'm probably going to need to use both of these for the same earring. Now, does this loop, is this an open loop? It is not an open loop, so I'm going to need a jump ring for this as well. I'm going to get one of my smaller, my 5mm jump rings. There we go. A couple of these out. Alright, so let's get a little bit of wire, about 4 inches worth. That should do. And I'm going to go ahead and go from here, here, and here. So I've got my big pearl right there in the middle. I've got my 2 tubes on the side. And I think I'm only going to be able to fit one of these wires through this tiny purl, not both. And I'm right. So what I'm going to do is crimp these two and then cut one wire and then put this purl on and make a loop. So these two are going together like this with both of these wires coming up, and I probably could have gotten away with using a little less wire for this, but I'd rather have a little too much wire than not enough. There we go. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to cut one of these wires. And these little bits of wire are useful for other reasons, like stuffing them into crimp tubes when you don't have enough wire, or making little jump rings or something out of them. They can be used in other ways. So what I'm going to do now is put this bead right there. Bloop. Add another crimp tube. And make a loop. For this one, the crimp tube can be right up against that purl. We don't need to keep it slinky. Now when you go to do your second earring, you're going to want to compare your loop size and make sure they match before you do your crimp. There we go. I snip this guy off. Could you do something similar with craft wire? Absolutely. But then you wouldn't have this white wire showing through with the bugles and matching your necklace. Alright, now we're going to open and close jump ring and get this attached to our stud post. Alright. So there we have at least one earring finished and a necklace. That's just one of the possibilities of things that you could make with this box. Super quick, super simple. Can't wait to make something with this. How fantastic is that? And then this is the box so far. So far what we've got unboxed and showing up. I can't wait to see what's in the white bag and the blue bag coming up next. Again, check the link in the description below if you missed day 1 and day 2. And if you want to check on Dena's channel, we'll also put a link to it in the description, but check on Dena's channel if you don't want to follow that link. for the planned live and hit notify me so that you don't miss our celebration on the 4th. And we hope to see you then. Until next time, my friends, happy beading.